Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Jess Strom Show. I'm your host, Katie Tetzlaw. It is game day, but also National Kindness Day. Big shout out to Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood there. So we have two special guests with us today. Actually, three if you include why we're having the show with Jess Strom. But two players with us right now. Ladies, welcome to the show. Number one, thank you so much for being with us. I know we just got done shoot around. You're coming right out of the gym, right over to the studio. So number one, thank you. But if you could introduce yourself to the camera and to the viewers out there, so people who know who is on the show today.
Hi, I'm Citiana Negatu. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm a grad senior here at Cal, and I recently came from Loyola, Chicago.
All right, you're next, Shauna.
I'm Shauna Harrison. I'm a sophomore, and I'm from Sheffield, England.
All right. So we have viewers abroad here, ladies and gentlemen. They could be Facebook Live. I mean, we are going international status here with the family members of Shauna Harrison, so special shout out to them. So let's get just right into it, ladies. Obviously, Citiana being a newcomer to Cal. First year with the program, but not your first year in basketball so far. Tell us a little bit about, your beginning stages with Cal U and just kind of how you got here and how it's going so far.
Well, I feel like Cal is just very welcoming, and just this year I'm definitely having a lot more fun, and I really appreciate that a lot. Just coming here, I met some new people. I met Jameer from home, so it's kind of nice to have somebody to just show me around Cal.
Familiar faces.
Yeah, familiar faces, so yeah.
All right. And Shauna, as a return, you got your feet wet last year being a freshman, came back. It's a little different, much different role. How's it going so far as a veteran?
I mean, it's a lot different. We lost a lot of our strong players, but everyone's trying to pick up what we lost from last year.
Yeah, and all right, ladies, so here's the thing. Big weekend last weekend, or I should say this past weekend. Game against Charleston, game against West Liberty. Really thankful to get out of West Liberty with a W, and really happy to get a big W on Friday night. Talk to us a little bit about, both of you started the game. Tell us a little bit about, let's start with Charleston. What were your thoughts on the Charleston game, City?
I thought they were pretty athletic, and they can run the floor, and we just had to match their intensity. So, I mean, throughout the game, I think we were just doing very well, just kept the same momentum every quarter. So it was kind of good that we kind of pulled through with the dub.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Shauna, for you, some big scoring from you, in a really different role from last year, playing a lot more minutes. What did you think about the game on Friday versus Charleston?
I mean, same as City, they were a really strong team, but we came out even stronger, and I think that just pushed us throughout the entire game.
Absolutely. And so we go right from Friday, a big regional win, to Saturday playing another regional opponent, West Liberty, at their place after playing, I think a pretty intense game on Friday. How do you think we started the game on City to where we ended?
Starting off the game, it wasn't the best. We kind of were just lack of energy, lack of just being focused. But you don't really see teams pull through a 28-point deficit, especially with a team as high energy and shoots threes endlessly. So it was kind of nice to see our team win.
Yeah, and I know one thing for us, I think that we preach is obviously defensive intensity, defensive effort. And I think the fourth quarter group came out there and got the job done for us, and it was insane. Shauna, walk us through the game for you and how you felt towards the tail end, and where we started the fourth quarter to where we finished it.
I mean, coming from the win the previous day, we did start out a lot slower in comparison, but throughout the game we were trying to fight back, and we never stopped fighting until the end.
And I think that's preached from the head coach. Yeah. I think we do that in practice a lot. There's never a day, I think, where we are not allowed to bring the energy. You're not allowed to be idle and just be there. It's kind of very intense. City, is it very different, the style of play from what you came from to where you are now, just in general with how we play defense, what we do on offense? Is there any similarities, or are there a lot more differences?
I actually think it's very different because it's completely opposite, because we force baseline in my other school, so now here we force middle. But I think it's just as much intensity though, and you just got to work hard. I think that's the main thing on defense, I guess. But,
Absolutely. Defensive principle is completely different from what you're used to?
Yeah, definitely.
Was it hard for you to change that? Like after spending so many years playing the same way, was it really hard to adjust your brain and just your footwork and everything to get to the place where you are now?
I thought it would take me a lot longer, but surprisingly it hasn't.
Basic stuff. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning, but...
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Isn't it every day another opportunity to grow? All right, so Shauna, talk about how different, I want to start, we already talked about Charleston, but I have to bring it back up because if we talk about how we played last year as a unit to how we played at Charleston, letting the ball fly. I mean, we talked about it on the show. Jess and I talked about it. Just kind of how we were shooting a lot of threes at practice. But man, oh man, did the three ball fly on Friday? How do you like that? How does that fit the way you play?
I mean, I love it. I love taking them shots. And as a whole, a lot of us were taking them shots. We need to work on our rebounding, obviously, but. Yeah, it's just amazing.
And you like the three.
I love the three.
You were living. There were green lights everywhere on Friday. Pulled it back a little bit on Wednesday. Not as many attempts, but I think what you saw on I said Wednesday on Saturday. Pulled it back on Saturday, but I think what you saw is at the end like that Cal U that you've seen before. That knockdown defense, get stops and get buckets and kind of go from there. So. It was a great weekend, but, as they always say, that's in the past now, and the focus is on Virginia Union. So, ladies, after what you saw in some preparation after the weekend, another, Coach Strom didn't go light on the schedule this year with, 3 teams that were participants in the NCAA tournament last year. Virginia Union coming off a really big win out in Florida. They're here now playing at 5:30 today. Tell us your thoughts, City, on what you think about Virginia Union.
I think they're going to challenge our mental stability. I think they're a really aggressive team. They have a lot of physicality, and I think they're just going to really test us and how we're composed and stay poised and
absolutely
being together.
And you, Shauna, what have you seen so far from Virginia Union watching film and going through practice? What are your thoughts on the game?
They're a really fast-paced team. They love to move the ball quick. They take the dribble quick. So we just need to be on our toes the entire game.
Absolutely. And, tell us a little bit about, since it is game day. I love game day. I think that's what I live for. I live for it as a player, live for it as a coach. City, talk to the viewers and me about your preparation for game day, your routine, whatever it is, because I know all as athletes, we do have some routines in our life, or maybe you don't. Talk to us a little bit, what do you do on game day?
I know I try to take a nap before.
It's important, get a little sleep.
I don't usually eat too close to game. The start of the game, but that's
nice
really
and light.
Yeah, and then just listen to music. And
so nothing really detailed. You don't have to put on things a certain way. I put my socks on a certain way. I put my socks on, the shoes and my jersey a certain way. Nothing like that.
No.
Pretty easy going on your routine.
Yeah.
Shauna, what about you? Game day routine.
I mean, mine's the same with the music, but then obviously I have to. When I put my knee pads on, I have to put my right on and then my left. Yeah,
so you kind of have a way you start things and to get yourself ready. We're not looking to the future, but from, preseason and from our first 2 games, and then obviously getting ready to play Virginia Union, what are you guys most excited about this season? City, we'll start with you. What are you so excited about this program and where we're going and what we can do?
I'm excited about seeing our growth because I think that we have a lot of room to grow in, but I think we're a great team as well, and I think that we can do great things this season, and I'm excited to see how we all come together.
Just build each and every day.
And how we are, basically.
Great. Shauna, what about you? What are you so excited about?
Similar to seeing how our team comes together with losing a lot of people. We also gained a lot of newcomers, and seeing us all come together so quickly already is just amazing.
And what is so different for you, Shauna, from last year to this year? If you could pinpoint some things, about whether your game or how you are in school, or just overall comfort level with the program, and coming back as a sophomore? What do you think is really different for you?
I think my confidence level has risen a lot since last year, especially with playing for Great Britain over the summer. That's boosted my energy as well, sort of thing. So yeah.
So just overall confidence.
Yeah, overall.
And I'm sure as a freshman and you coming in not knowing everything, it takes some time to get used to some things. You don't have a lot of time with Cal U, so you have to really learn quickly. I mean, everyone has to learn quickly, but it's a one and done for you. Mm-hmm. What do you want to do with the degree that you have after here? What are some future plans for you, City?
I don't have a specific goal or something I want to do, but I do want to stick around with sports.
Absolutely.
Just go into coaching or something.
So nothing set in stone. You're still looking at options and just kind of checking some things out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that you'll have a master's degree to go along with that. So that says a lot about you and how important the academic side is to you. Shauna, tell the viewers, big game tonight, 5:30 p.m. Why should these people that are out there in the universe watch Cal U women's basketball?
Why wouldn't they want to? I mean,
there you go.
They're a great team, so.
That's great. Well, we would like to thank these guys for being on the show today. I know they came right, from shoot around and got to get to class. So we will be right back with our main guest, Coach Jess Strom.
Colin, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Millersburg, Pennsylvania can watch our stuff down here.
Well, they could follow us on Twitter, or they could like us on Facebook.
Yeah, but what about our sports? How can they watch those?
They could watch it live on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and word mark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Jess Strom Show. Glad to have you with us again. Jess, hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and happy World Kindness Day, and most importantly, happy game day.
Yep, it's game day.
Love game day. Reason why you do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels different on these days, especially when we play, a really good team, top 10 in the country. Like, if you don't get fired up for these days, something's wrong.
Yeah, then you probably shouldn't be in it. Mm-hmm. Probably shouldn't play, shouldn't coach, shouldn't be a part of it. I know we're all fired up, had a great shoot around, and ready to go. So, but before we get into the game day stuff, let's talk about this past weekend. Friday, as I said to the girls, at Charleston, played Charleston at West Liberty for the Conference Challenge, opened up on Friday. Thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think Charleston is a really good team. I know we talked about last week. They have some new people that really are going to be good. I think even towards the end of the season, they'll be better. So for us to go, and we were up 20 at halftime, I was kind of surprised the way we started. And, we knew they were going to make a run and chip away. They weren't going to go away. They're a good team. So it was nice for us to open up with a win. I think get a little bit of confidence because we have a lot of new people too. So I think it's going to be a learning process all season. But it's always good to get a win, a regional win, when you open up.
And talk to us a little bit about how the game was played. We talked about this before in the show before, how different we looked on the offensive end. What did you think about the shooting that happened? I mean, I was mind blown.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to it. I knew we'd shoot a lot more, but I wasn't ready for the volume of 3-point shots that the Vulcans
think
got up.
Obviously, we shot a lot more threes, but also we played without our starting point guard for 35 minutes of that game. So I think with Bianca in, maybe it would have looked a little different, not so chaotic or hectic, but we were also making a ton of shots in the first half. So you don't really want to slow them down if they're going in.
No doubt. The green light stays on when they're going in.
The green light was on for sure. But I think we have players that can make those shots. So it's very different for us, I think, as coaches, because we have some shooters on our team now. And I will rarely give red lights to anyone. So I think you're going to see that a lot more this year.
Got out of there on Friday with a win. Know that you have to play the next game against a really great opponent in West Liberty, another regional opponent. Thoughts on the West Liberty game?
Yeah, I think going into West Lib, I knew it was going to be kind of difficult for us because they move the ball extremely well. They shoot a ton of threes. They're very fundamentally sound. And for us, just kind of getting used to the defense we play, I knew it was going to be a challenge for us, but got down early, which was kind of not expecting. I thought we would, play a little tougher in the first half, but fought back. It was pretty nice to see an early test for us. Like second game of the season, we had to fight back from 19 points down. So I'm pretty confident going in, to the future games that if we get down, our kids will at least fight. They never gave up. Whoever was in there was playing extremely hard. Wasn't always pretty, but in the fourth quarter we played defense finally. I think we're giving up way too many points our first two games, but the fourth quarter I think we finally got stops when we started to come back.
And giving up a lot more points, but putting up a lot more points. Again, just a change for the overall Vulcans. What would you like to see change? Do you have anything that you wanted to change on offense? You said it before, I think, with the addition of Bianca coming back, to a point guard, a more slow down game, a more set, yourself up. Did you have anything in mind? Like, does it matter how we play offense to you?
Not really. I think, when we have a point guard in there, it will be more controlled. I think our shots, we'll probably still take the same outside shots, but just in our offense, not just in a chaotic mode, just randomly. But I don't really care that we take that many shots, outside shots. We need to rebound if we're going to shoot that many outside shots. But offense, to me, is secondary to our defense. And I think for our defense, we need to get better.
Yep, and getting better with that, giving up that many points. I believe it was 80 points on Saturday, if I'm correct, if I remember that correctly. How do you get that down? How do you get back to, 60 and under points that the Vulcans like to play?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to get it twisted either. We played two teams that score a lot of points.
Absolutely.
Averaged a lot of points. So we held them both under what they typically average, but for us, 73 and 80 points is way too many. So I think we just have to keep working every day. I think they had shooters on their team both nights that were extremely hot, made a lot of three-pointers.
On fire.
Yeah, they had two players that were on fire, this weekend. So I think we just have to identify that earlier and kind of adjust.
Make
if someone,
adjustments in-game.
if someone is shooting that well, we have to adjust.
So putting those behind us, we can't really focus on them now. I think, with a team that has so many newcomers, 7, and newcomers that play significant minutes, experience is great. When you made the schedule, and we had those two games, which we knew there'd be huge, 2 regional games, and then comes another juggernaut in Virginia Union. Did you think those 2 games were going to be huge to be able to face this opponent in Virginia Union?
Yeah, I knew that the first 3 games of our season could go either way. I just hope that we would learn from them, win or lose. Like, we need to get better for the end of the season. So I kind of set us up in a difficult position, but at the same time, we're going into this game 2-0. So those are huge wins for us. And, to play someone like Virginia Union early tests you. I know City was talking about it will be a good test for us. It is. We're going to go in and we're going to fight and we're going to play hard. But hopefully at the end of the season, whatever we take away from these early games, you can see it in March.
And after watching Charleston play, West Liberty play, and watching Virginia Union on film, these are 3 teams that have every single year a big shot to be in the NCAA Atlantic Regional Tournament. Do you like playing them early to get a nice taste of that, to set yourself up for a potential NCAA run?
Yeah, I think that, we could have made our schedule a little differently, but I want us to be tested early. I want us, even through preseason, I said that. I wanted it to be very difficult for us because we have new people. We started a whole new starting lineup for this weekend from last year. So they need to be tested early. I wanted it to be very hard for us. If we want to be an NCAA tournament team, we have to be able to beat these teams, or at least compete right now with them.
With not one starter starting in Friday from years past on Friday and Saturday, where was your comfort level with people that you really didn't know how they were going to perform? We obviously see them in practice every day, so you get a great evaluation. But when the lights come on and the ball is thrown up in the air, sometimes it can be a different story.
Yeah, I think it's just a learning game. I think going into it, you have an idea of what you think. I know Mo and City have played at least significant minutes college basketball-wise. So you kind of have an idea, but you never really know until the game goes. And two games in, I'm a little more comfortable with certain people, but at the same time, I still want to see more from other people. So it's going to be, I'd say, the whole first half of the year until we get completely comfortable, rotation-wise and who can do what at certain times.
And it's wide open, too, for people to play. We talked about this. 10 players in double-digit minutes in the 3 games that we have stats for that are not including scrimmages. Very unusual for the Vulcans.
Yeah, it's a lot of players. I mean, even if you look at this past weekend, we had people step up on Friday and then different people step up on Saturday, which is a great thing for us because you're not always going to have your best day. So hopefully we can find 5 people that day, that can produce.
And that can help you win games. Mm-hmm. So let's focus about today at 5:30, Virginia Union. Keep saying it. Talk to us a little bit about the viewers, about, what your thoughts are on Virginia Union.
I think they're a really good team. I think they're super athletic. They're fast. One of the teams that we're going to play this year that I think might be just as aggressive as us. I think there might be a lot of fouls in this game, depending on how they call it both ways. But I think they're a really good team. I think they match us athletically and quickness-wise. So it's going to be fun to see. We made some adjustments. Hopefully our team can focus on those. And, it will just be a fun game to watch, I think.
And we had this question, I think, before that someone asked us, and it's great for the viewers to know. What are your thoughts, Jess, on in-game adjustments that you make if you haven't practiced them in any capacity during the preseason or during practices that we have? So you only had so many practices until this point. What are your thoughts about, just throwing something in different for the players in game?
Yeah, I don't mind. I am a risk taker, so it's fine for me to do that. And I think the kids learn that way. And I think obviously if you have veteran players, it's probably more successful those days. But how will they ever learn if we don't do it when they're younger and new? So we definitely are going to be doing that. Like even just drawing up new plays that we've never ran before. The end of the West Liberty game, drew a play up for Bree Allen, and they ran it perfectly, and she got an and one to win the game pretty much.
Completely random.
So now I have a little more trust, at least in those 5, that if I draw something up, they'll be able to execute it. Yeah.
Where do you think that you got that risk taking from? Because I can tell you that when we sit and talk at the timeouts, we are really opposite. I'm very safe. You're very much risk taker. Where do you think that you got that ability to take those risks?
I think it just probably even as a player, I was that way. Just go for it. Like if I have a feeling, I typically think it's right, so I go for it. That doesn't mean it's always right, but I feel that it is. So, and I feel like if I make our team believe that it's the right thing to do, then they'll go out and try to do it to their best ability. So I just have a feeling sometimes. I know we disagree, and I usually say, we're going to do this, and you say no, and I say, yep, yeah, we are.
And then we can laugh about it later. But, obviously in game it's a lot more stressful. At no point at West Liberty did, especially from me and I think from our players, we get to see you very closely throughout the game. There was zero panic in that game versus West Liberty. When we were down significant amount of points, did you have any doubt at all about, how we were going to finish that game.
No, and I'm not really a panic person, but I also feel like even if I'm feeling some sort of way, I don't want to let our team know that because we were never down too far to come back. I always feel like if you fight back, there's always a chance. So there was never a time I thought the game was out of reach. I was frustrated at times when we would get back to 4 and then give someone a 3-point shot and go back to 7, down 7. So there was more times of a little bit frustration for us, but never a panic.
Yeah. And do you think that's belief in your kids? Because, I'm like a little more stressful, obviously, than you with different personalities. And at no point was I stressed out at the West Liberty game. We talked about this afterwards. I always felt like at some point we would make a run and get ourselves back in the game. But I think that's my belief in our kids and what they do every day and how they fight. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think it's because we see them every day. And we know the type of players people that they are. They're
competitors.
Fighters. Yeah, they're fighters. So I think there's not a time, there's no word give up. Like we don't
Ever.
use those words. So I think it is a confidence that, we might lose, but we're going to go down fighting.
Yeah.
There's at least going to be a fight.
Do you think that plays a huge role in how you recruit players to come to Cal U?
Yeah, I really do. You have to be able to be that way. And maybe, we're not going to be perfect in recruiting, but if you're not that way, chances are you're not going to play very much or you're not going to like it here because that's kind
How
of
practices
the
are.
practice are, and that's kind of the people that we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are you most excited about this tonight? You talked about, matching. They're very similar to us in intensity. What are you really excited for to see tonight?
I'm excited to see us improve from the weekend. Try to make the changes we need to make and put them into gameplay. I'm excited for us to play someone that's a little bit different. Like I think Charleston, West Lib, and Virginia Union all have a little bit different style. So I think it's going to be good for us when we get to conference play or our upcoming games because we would have seen a little bit of everything. But I'm just excited when you're playing a team like Virginia Union who has consistently been at the top of our region. It's a good day. We're playing them at home.
Really exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Now, speaking of the PSAC, you talked about conference play. Every PSAC school is playing non-conference games. The standings in the PSAC, you get to follow the schedule. Are you following the PSAC schools right now every single day?
Yeah. I follow the PSAC, I follow the Mountain East, I follow basketball. So if there's basketball on, I'm usually watching it. But you see the West standings, obviously everyone has played 1 or 2 games. So not many games played yet, but we have some really good teams. Seton Hill just yesterday beat St. Francis. So, and they were picked middle of our conference. So they're much better than that. I've watched some very good teams this weekend play in our conference.
Which is why, these non-conference opponents are so huge to get ready for huge battles in the PSAC.
Yeah, I think the PSAC is really challenging. And it's going to be different this year with different players, but I feel like teams are going to be very competitive.
Yep. Well, folks, that's the end of our show here. We have a huge game coming tonight. Please follow. If you want to follow along, live stats, or watch the game, go to www.calvulcans.com. Go to women's basketball, click on the schedule, and you'll find the Virginia Union game, and it will have links to watch or to follow live stats. Our upcoming schedule, we have November 16th, Fairmont State. We're going on the 19th at Central State. And then we start with PSAC crossover play on November 23rd and 24th. So, folks, we appreciate you following us. We hope to see you tonight. If you can't make it to the game, would love your support by following along online. And we will see you soon. Have a great day and spread some kindness today.